This is the news on PBCJ. I am Simone Absalom. Anti-corruption watchdog National Integrity Action, NIA, has described the move by Prime Minister Andrew Holness to keep Dr. Andrew Wheatley in his cabinet in the wake of the petroleum scandal as a disservice to the nation. News came Monday that Dr. Wheatley had been stripped of the energy portfolio. He will remain as Minister of Science and Technology. In an interview with RJR News Tuesday morning, NIA Executive Director Professor Trevor Monroe said the agency was not satisfied with the move. Professor Monroe argued that the transfer of the energy portfolio to the Office of the Prime Minister, the office might be overwhelmed given that it already houses 17 other departments. And in other news, the Caribbean Court of Justice, CCJ, will see a change in leadership today when Justice Adrian Saunders takes over from Sir Dennis Byron. In March of this year, it was announced that Justice Saunders, after an exhaustive international search, would be appointed the CCJ's third president. Justice Saunders is also the chairman of the Caribbean Association of Judicial Officers and the course director of the Halifax-based Commonwealth Judicial Education Institute's intensive study program. He is also one of the institute's directors. The transition will take place as part of the activities before the 39th regular meeting of the Conference of Heads of Government of the Caribbean Community at the Montego Bay Convention Center in Jamaica. The event, which begins today, will be live-streamed on PBC Jamaica's social media websites. Minister of Labour and Social Security Shahini Robinson says the government is committed to strengthening the capacity of regional labour inspectors to eliminate child labour. Minister Robinson was speaking at the opening of a training of trainers workshop in labour inspection with a focus on child labour and occupational safety and health, held on July 2 at the Terra Nova All Suite Hotel in St. Andrew. She said the government is pleased to be hosting this workshop to strengthen the capacity of regional labour inspectors as part of the international thrust to eliminate child labour. 33 trainers from the Ministries of Labour in Jamaica, Guyana and the Bahamas are participating in the workshop, which is slated to run between July 2 to July 6. It forms part of the International Labour Organization Latin America and the Caribbean Free of Child Labour Regional Initiative. The Registrar General's Department, RGD, has partnered with the Jamaica Social Investment Fund to provide birth certificates to residents of 18 communities across the country. The project was scheduled to end in March, but an addendum was signed by both entities on April 11 to extend it until June 30. In his contribution to the 2018-2019 sectoral debate in the House of Representatives, Minister without portfolio in the Office of the Prime Minister, Mike Henry, said the objective of the initiative was to enhance access to basic urban infrastructure and services and contribute towards increased community safety in selected economically vulnerable and socially volatile inner-city communities locally. It was proposed that more than 4,000 persons would benefit from the project. In regional news, Prime Minister of the Bahamas, Dr. Hubert Minnis, is determined to keep his country's economy afloat. During a recent town hall meeting, he announced that a 12% increase in value-added tax was necessary at this time to keep the country's debt at a manageable level.
With 12, it meant that we would still have to borrow. However, that borrowing was manageable. By introducing fiscal policies and a better society, we felt that we could manage that, and hence 12%. If you did nothing, left it at 7.5, and borrow, it means that you would have been downgraded, difficulty borrowing, and you have to go to an international agency to borrow. I would never want to see what has happened to Barbados happen to us.
Barbados' negotiating team is down to engage in discussions with the International Monetary Fund's representatives starting this week and continuing until July 12. This disclosure came from Minister in the Ministry of Finance, Ryan Strawn, who said the IMF officials had already started requesting data, which Barbados was in the process of finalizing. The minister explained that government was working out the details on what was required to grow the economy over the next 10 years and the particular path to achieve sustainable growth, whilst at the same time improving the delivery of public services to the level that Barbadians expect and deserve. In sports, Brazil were given a boost in the build-up to their World Cup quarter-final against Belgium as Marcelo and Douglas Costa both took part in training yesterday. According to the Jamaica Observer, the Juventus winger has only featured once in Brazil's campaign in Russia so far, coming off the bench in the 2-0 victory against Costa Rica in their second group outing. He suffered a thigh injury in that game and missed the wins over Serbia in their last group match and Mexico in the last 16 on Monday. Brazil won both games 2-0 and now face Belgium in the last 8 in Kazan on Friday. Marcelo missed the Mexico game with a back problem, with Felipe Luis filling in at left back in his absence. Tite's squad are due to train at their base in Sochi in Russia's Black Sea coast for the last time today before heading back to Kazan ahead of the Belgium clash. And that's the news. Thanks so much for making it PBCJ. I'm Simone Absalom. Pleasant viewing.